So folks, to be honest with you, I reviewed 3 Zuwei electric guitars and had good things to say about them, but ended up moving them all on, even the tele models that I thought I might keep. Not that they were bad, it's just that I only have room for one tele model in my collection, and I'm just looking for the right one. And they were close, but they weren't it. And I've tried every budget most of the budget tele models available, and there'll be more coming in that series. So in the meantime, I thought I'd look at an opportunity came up to where I could look at a Zuwei acoustic guitar. Now these are a lot higher priced. I didn't get this one for the full price. It is a blem, although there are no issues with it. So I managed to get it cheaper, and I wanted to show it to you. First of all, solid Sitka top. It's not a parlor, and it's not quite a concert. It's somewhere in between. So it's smaller body, 39-inch total length. Solid Sitka top, laminate rosewood back and sides. Nice herringbone style back seam there. And look at the binding on this. Abalone, real abalone, all the way throughout the guitar. So the back is abalone, the front is abalone, the rosette is abalone, and even down the neck foot you can see abalone down here. Reminds me a little bit of the Gioconda Yari that I have, the Alvarez Yari I have from the 70s. Even has abalone around here and across the foot of the bridge. A little too blingy for me, but some people like that. There's the slotted headstock with the inlaid Zuwei. It's nicely done. The volute on the back of the neck, which is really nice on smaller body guitars. The inlays are really nice. Abalone inlays, sort of a cross thing going. Very, very pretty guitar. There's the bottom seam. It's got the M-pin trim as well with the binding that goes around. Kind of blingy for me. There's the bridge, pyramid bridge style on the bridge feet there. But it's got good specs, really nice rosewood board, Sitka spruce top, laminate rosewood, all bound, real abalone, bone nut and saddle, and then this nice rosewood face headstock with real inlaid abalone logo. Nice sort of classical style machine tuners, gold with black caps. So everything's there for it to be a $300, $400, $500 guitar. It's got the smaller body sound. Not quite parlor, but definitely a smaller concert / auditorium sweetness rather than the dreadnought boom. Although the bottom bouts are kind of wide, so it's almost like a mini jumbo as well, and we've seen those. So I would have to say, in the acoustic guitar world, these Zuweis compete a little bit more with, let's say, the upper Alvarez, the lower go down like Seagull. Maybe doesn't quite have that sound, but I think these are to be a little bit more respected, in my opinion, in terms of a good solid top acoustic than those 3 electric guitars that I had, that weren't bad, but had some pretty tough setup issues. I had to wrestle with them to get them to play. This I didn't. I had to do some fret end cleaning. I had to set the action a little bit. I did tweak the truss rod. And it's a nice guitar. Unfortunately, they don't come with case. Well, actually, it did come with a hard shell case. What am I talking about? I was going to say it didn't come with a gig bag, but it came with better than a gig bag. So if you've seen these Zuwei acoustic guitars listed on Amazon and on eBay, although I'm sure the eBay sellers are buying them and marking them up, at least some of them. This is what you get. You get a good, solid Sitka Spruce top model. It's Chinese, of course, and it's probably to the top end of what they can sell them for. The problem with companies like this, and if Zuwei, if you're listening, if someone's got $400, $500 to spend on an acoustic guitar, they're going to go get a Yamaha. They're going to go get a Seagull. They're going to go get an Alvarez or Ibanez Artwood. Chances are they're not going to buy an unknown Chinese-made branded guitar. It's a tough sell. I think if these were $200, $250, they'd sell all day long with these specs, but they're not. And that's not to say that it should be $200. I think what you're seeing here is worthy of the $350 price range. It's just that there's so much competition from top, well-known brands. Try not to give you the glare there. That I don't know how these are selling on Amazon. I'm thinking if somebody has, let's say 400 with tax, because these go for 3 something, and then there's always a tenth of the money going to tax, and that's in dollars. So let's say you have $400 to buy a guitar like this. You're probably going to gravitate to one of the better known brands. And I think this is the problem with some of the brands I've liked, like the James Nelligan guitars. Those solid top models are in the $300, $400, $500 price range, and they have to compete with all the much better known brands. And people do have brand consciousness in the guitar world, as with everywhere else. Every time a teacher comes to my house, to buy a guitar for or look for guitars for their students, their young students, it's always like, do you have any Yamahas? A, because Yamaha is consistently good, but B, that they don't know all the other brands. They don't know, they don't spend hours like I do doing research on these lesser known brands to know that, in the $350 price range, this is probably as good as, what Yamaha puts out. If you think of the 800 series, if you got one of the smaller 800 series like the 820, it's probably around $350 with tax. And this might compete quality-wise with that. At least this one I have in my hands. I don't know about the consistency. Yamaha's awfully consistent, and that's what you pay for as well. But most teachers or players are not going to know about these. They might see it and think it looks nice and take a punt on it. But most of the time they're going to bypass this for a much better known brand. And that's unfortunate. I think that's the problem a lot of these companies have. And that's why a lot of them are around for a little while. You see a flurry of guitars and then they sort of disappear, often going out of business, is just because they can't smash that brand consciousness in order to make the sales that they need to survive. So we'll see what happens to Zuwei. Their electric guitars are more in the budget realms. You can pick those up in the $150 to $250 to $300 cost. It seems like with acoustic guitars they're a little bit more serious, and I don't really see anything entry level in the $100, $150 range. It seems that all of their acoustic guitars are in the 3 to 5 and plus ranges. So they're making nice solid top instruments with good ebony boards, all bound. I don't know if this abalone trim is quite necessary. Look on both sides of the binding there. You have real inlaid ebony. That just seems a bit extravagant for me. Maybe they could cut the costs if they cut some of this abalone out. I mean, it's everywhere on this guitar, even across the back where the heel cap is. A lot of companies will not have it there or there on the end, going by the end pin. I mean, that's a lot of shell on this guitar. Maybe they could cut the costs by, maybe they do have a model without all these accoutrements that is slightly cheaper. But I'm pretty impressed. I don't think it is the best that I've seen in this price range. It is solid top. It has a nice sound. The top looks a little thick to me. So perhaps it's not graduated to give you the fullest sound, but it's a very nicely, competently made guitar. Nice neck, nice shaping on the volute there, really nice binding, very nice lines if you're coming at it from a designer's perspective. And you can get your fingers in these slots here to put the strings in. A lot of times they cut these too small. So there are a lot of good things to say about this, and I would say that it's a much more serious guitar than some of the electrics I've seen. So I'm glad I got a chance to look at it. Really nice guitar. So this is the Zuwei ZW style. I'll put the full model number on the description. By the way, they list these in their ad descriptions as being handcrafted. I should do a video on handcrafted. I think a lot of companies claim for something to be handcrafted where it's possibly not fully handcrafted. There are some machined or CNC'd parts. So I don't know. I'm reluctant to believe a lot of these claims that these factory production guitars are handmade or handcrafted. I'd love to see what the stipulations for making that claim are, or if there are any. It's like with your food, you have to meet certain requirements to list something as organic. In the grocery industry, is there something similar for handcrafted / handmade in the guitar industry? There should be. So it says handcrafted, and maybe it is. Maybe it is made by people in a factory rather than completely made on machines, but I can't say that for sure. But it's listed on the inside as handcrafted. So there you go, made in China. Another one, Zuwei, the ZW series, sort of parlorish concert auditorium, mini jumbo shaped thing. Pretty guitar, not bad player either. See you on the next one.